Hey everybody, it's Drop of the Week. It's me, Danny from Cajun or Como D, and we got Pedro over here.
What's happening?
Today, Spider-Man is the main topic. Besides this, homecoming, but everybody's hearing about these different group of people are actually getting casted into homecoming, and half of them are villains, and we don't know if they're a major role, minor role. I would like to see probably Sinister Six at some point in Marvel MCU Spider-Man movie with Sony having some type of input into it.
Indeed.
And, it'd be a great way to introduce these guys. Pedro, what do you think?
Well, with Sinister Six, it's such a integral part of the Amazing Spider-Man mythology. Dating back to the original creation with Stan Lee and Steve Ditko, and you gotta see Sinister Six because with such a large rogues gallery that Spider-Man has, they eventually got like, hey, we have to team up to beat this guy, and we gotta see them team together. But I think they'll probably do like what the Marvel does with the movies. So like they'll introduce a character slowly, and then toward like the second or third movie, they'll finally launch like them together.
Exactly, because I think that would be the best way to end of, maybe a Spider-Man 3, and then from there they could think of maybe we should do a Sinister 6, but I think they should do like not just up to Spider-Man 3. I think they should go up to 6. Like the 6th movie or the 5th movie could put them together, and then the 6th would be like the Sinister Six.
Yeah, I agree because the character, the person they got for Spider-Man, he's young, so see him grow, as a kid, that'll be really intriguing to see.
Exactly, and in 1964, Amazing Spider-Man introduced the Sinister Six. And speaking of Sinister Six, Pedro, who do you like to have in the Sinister Six?
For me, I decided, I made a quick list, and I decided to base it on 3 intelligent villains that Spider-Man has, and then 3 not so bright villains that Spider-Man has that he kind of just faces just in the regular. And for the first one, Dr. Octopus. Like, you can't have the Sinister Six without Doc Ock. He's the main person in charge. I believe he was there in the beginning, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, most likely. I think he was.
So yeah,
he's pretty much the leader.
Yeah, so like I think he should always be the top person. Introduce him in one of the movies. Second, Vulture. So we're getting word that Michael Keaton might be Vulture in the next Spider-Man movie, and why not? Because I love Vulture as a character. I think he's very fascinating, and to see him team up with Doc Ock, as like the two like heads masters of the Sinister Six would be fantastic. My third choice would be Lizard, as the last like smart, because he's a scientist. So I'd like to see what kind of experiments they try to do. They try to defeat Peter Parker as Spider-Man. And for the 3 dummies, for lack of a better term, it would be Sandman, because even though I was not, I didn't really hate his depiction in Spider-Man 3. I thought you could have done so much better with the character. And to see him, getting redemption for what happened for Spider-Man 3. Same thing for Lizard. Lizard, I thought he was a cool concept for Amazing Spider-Man, but because of how all issues that happened on set, I feel like his character was cut short. So I feel, you could add more to his character and more layers. And lastly, for my picks, I would like to see Rhino, because same thing. They were depicted in the movies, but it's just something went off with like the whole studio heads, being too involved in the production, and they got such an amazing actor to play Rhino, but it was just a really bad accent. Him, just driving around. He's like, "Hey, Spidey, here I'm driving my fucking truck around." So yeah, I did not like Rhino. If you can tell by my voice. So yeah, like that's like usually all my picks for Sinister Six. I feel with all those 6, you can kind of tell a very cohesive story, and get like different layers of the different villains that Spidey has faced, in his movies as we come to see as they go on. So what do you think of these different choices, Danny?
My Sinister Six will be, the first person I want to be in this one, it will be Electro. Let Electro be one of the top guys in here. He's a little bit clumsy, but in the movie Amazing Spider-Man 2, he was not that great. Like, they hit on some good parts, and then there was a lot of weak parts. And like he looked all pedophile-ish, and he saw Gwen Stacy, and he's like all acting weird. Like, dude, you're an older guy liking some teenage chick who's about to go in college. Like, come on, man, chill with that. Let's just bring in Doc Ock. Doc Ock was actually a great villain in Spider-Man 2. I liked his character. I liked the guy who portrayed Doc Ock. Plus, Doc Ock is one of the main villains who actually put together the Sinister Six. He is the leader of Sinister Six. Yeah, in the Spider-Man animated series from the 90s, we had Kingpin, but I think Doc Ock would be a great villain and the actual leader. And then let's bring in Sandman. Sandman in Spider-Man 3, I mean, we had three villains. We had Junior Goblin, we had Venom, and Sandman. I don't think Sandman was executed in that movie that well because he had to portray, oh, he's a villain, and he's framed to kill Uncle Ben, but he wasn't the real killer. The real killer was actually his other friend, Mysterio. Fishhead, fishball, whatever you want to call him. But this guy was the main villain in Spider-Man in Peter Parker life. When he found out he was actually the guy who killed his uncle. A lot of anger, vengeance. It would be awesome to have him in there. And then let's bring in Vulture. And yes, Vulture's going to be in Homecoming. Michael Keaton, great pick. He pretty much looks like the Vulture. It's pretty cool. He's gonna be the Vulture because he has the look. He's a great actor. He was Birdman. I mean, hey, the guy was Birdman who's gonna play Vulture now in Spider-Man. That's pretty cool. And then he's gonna be excellent from the Homecoming. So let's bring him into a Sinister Six movie. I mean, it could be in Spider-Man 3 to introduce the Sinister Six, or they could make a whole different movie just about the Sinister Six. And another guy I would like to see, Kraven the Hunter. Just introduce him in the third movie because he's a huge sportsman into hunting. Kraven the Hunter, the name, it gives away a lot of opportunity for this character to excel in the MCU Sony collaboration Spider-Man movie. Plus, they could have him looking for Spider-Man. Well, guess what? He would find the wrong Spider-Man. He could actually find Miles Morales. That would be a great twist in the Spider-Man series. Let's have these guys to be the Sinister Six. If they're not in the third movie, let's make them in the fourth or fifth movie. Like, let's have something great. I hope you guys like this picks. So yeah, that was my introduction of what I want to see in Sinister Six collaboration in the MCU and Sony. I would like to see those guys in it. Like I said, maybe 2024, maybe 2020.
Yeah, you know, like give like Marvel time to develop these characters, and not only just the characters themselves, but also develop Peter Parker as a character. Let him grow up. Let him deal with other issues as a teenager, and deal with like romantic issues and things like, you know, make him relatable. Make him the Peter Parker we love from the comics.
Yeah, I think that MCU, Sony have done a lot of great things so far. I mean, the greatest thing is that we finally got Spider-Man in the MCU and Sony allowed it. And, you know, what other spin-off we could get out of it from with Sony teaming up with the MCU. Like, yeah, maybe we'll get Venom added into the mix. Black Cat.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Carnage. There we go. Like, everybody's been dying to see Carnage too. I mean, Carnage already have its own little comic book series all of a sudden lately. There's Venom. Yeah. So, I mean, he's being popular. He's popular with everybody lately. I mean...
I think it's, you know, because, like the people that grew up with him back in the 90s when Maximum Carnage was happening, they're older now, so like, oh, let's bring him back now. So kind of like nostalgia kind of thing.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what it seems like. For me, I don't care about Maximum Carnage. I don't want to see Venom. I would like to see Venom input within the Sinister Six storyline too. I mean, it could be Peter Parker in the black Spider-Man suit.
Yeah, sure.
And then at the end of Sinister Six, we'll see Venom just shows up because he eventually probably...
But, like, do you want... Like, what depiction of Venom do you want? Do you want the original depiction where he's, like, this madman, or, like, he's a monster, he doesn't know how to control himself, or, like, the recent depictions that Marvel has where he's, like, oh, he knows what he's doing. Like...
Oh, no, I want the early 90s Venom. Yeah. I mean, I want that crazed, confused...
Spider-Man.
Pretty much. I mean, he's just confused, mad, pissed off. He want to bust a cap in Spider-Man. And
shots.
Exactly. And then Sinister Six is in part of this whole storyline too. So,
do you know, has he ever been part of the Sinister Six?
He was somewhat. I don't remember exactly.
I don't think it's that far of a stretch to put him in the Sinister Six.
He was like an extra, but he wasn't like the.
I remember. Okay.
Yeah, he was.
I mean, like if he can be part of the Guardians of the Galaxy, I don't see why not.
Exactly. I'm hoping when they do, or they finally give us the Sinister Six movie, they will give us Venom at the same time because, like I said, I think MCU are coming to that point that they need to catch up on certain characters.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I said, we had Spiderman movies for over 10 years now.
Yeah.
And we need a Sinister Six story.
And now that you mentioned that, catching up, I think that right after Avengers Infinity War, once that happens, kind of like do like a reboot in a way, not like reboot, like restart everything again, but like maybe kill off some characters, retire some characters, get them, have them take this take a seat and like have new characters emerge. And I think having Spider-Man take like the major lead, being like the new Iron Man, and reboot this new like Avengers theme, new like Marvel and Fox can get like the issues solved and get the X-Men and Fantastic Four into this. Just like start this like new unified universe.
So what you're saying is Spider-Man with the new Avengers.
Yeah.
We're talking about new Avengers here, pretty much.
Yeah. So whatever happens after Infinity War, reborn again and introduce new characters from the comics that are popular.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, as long as Fox get along with MCU at the end to introduce these heroes, we'll have Spider-Man and Wolverine and even Johnny Storm to be part of the new Avengers. I like that. Well, everybody, that's a great thing. I hope you all enjoy this. Have a good day.
Peace.